In this video, I'm gonna share with you how to photograph waterfalls and rivers together. This is something I used to struggle with, coming back home, looking at my pictures, having them rather flat, uninspiring, something always missing in there. And I had to work a lot on this type of photographs so that I can get a result that was up to my expectations. And I thought that since I had to work a lot, and I also wanted to make someone benefit from this, and I thought to share this with you. So in this video, I'm going to share most of the tips I know about this type of photography. I am now in Trollstingen. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful pass, but unfortunately, this pass is closed as most of them in this area. This is southwest of Norway, close to Bergen. I was before in the Lofoten island and I came south to visit this area. And unfortunately, as I said, all passes are closed, so I can't really travel around, or like travel time are much longer. So I decided to just get back more to the south of Europe, and there will be a lot of new stuff coming up. Trust me, I have a lot of plans, a lot of beautiful places that I'm gonna share with you, so stay tuned. In the meantime, we're gonna go right behind there. There is a river and there are like few waterfalls and the river of course as well there, and trust me, you're not gonna be disappointed. It's a beautiful place.
Before we continue, I just wanted to apologize for the sound quality in the video. It was the first time I recorded close to a waterfall and a river, and it proved to be noisier than I thought initially. But I tried to recover as much as I could from my voice during the video editing, which I got a fairly good result, to be honest. But still, I just wanted to apologize for this because there are like few glitches here and there. So with that, I let you continue the video, and I hope that you enjoy the show.
This is really amazing. But the first thing that actually attracted me in doing this today is the weather. The weather today is gray, is overcast, there is nothing really interesting to it. And so, like, the light won't be really great tonight. Tomorrow, the day after, they're planning like a little bit better light, but I had a good forecast yesterday for today, so I'm not really having like much expectations. It seems that the rain tends to get stuck here quite a bit. It's a well-known region for its rain, so I'm dealing with this, and actually all this scenery is perfect for it. And well, having rain is also why we do have like so much water and so much beautiful things around, and the nature is also like really amazing. So I'm not really disappointed about it, and I'm actually dealing with it, and I'm enjoying having this weather here because it will allow me to do amazing long exposures, waterfall and river photographs. So I'm gonna get a little bit more closer to the waterfalls that you can see behind me. It looks very small on the camera, but it's actually a little bit bigger than it seems. So let's get there. All right, I guess I'm good. Okay, let's talk a bit about gear. So basically, it's pretty much the same as what you would use if you're shooting long exposure. So pretty much a tripod to keep your camera stable when you're shooting. That's really important because we're going to do mostly long exposure. That helps to get a nice flow in the water and that gets it crisp, so that make the picture a little more fluid and nicer to the eyes. So that's what we want to do. Then a DSLR, that's kind of obvious, but it was good to remind it. You could use a weather sealed, but unless you put it in the water directly, then I guess you're going to be fine not using a weather sealed camera. For the lens, I'm using a wide angle lens, which is my XF 10 to 24 millimeters on Fuji. And I mean, ultra wide angle lenses are really amazing for this for this type of work. So especially here that I have a really big mountain on the background, That's definitely amazing. And then an ND filter, which here I'm using a 6-stop because I can't find my 3-stop anymore. So basically I need to increase the ISO quite a bit to get enough light entering, reaching the sensor at the speed I want. And that's a bit unfortunate, but today there is like Lightroom denoise. You can check the video here or here. That's a video I created where I compare Lightroom denoise with some other software, and it might be interesting to some of you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we need, and with this I guess we can do great pictures. So I'm gonna continue looking for some nice compositions and share them with you. So let's get going. Okay guys, amazing news. I finally put together a Lofoten workshop for next year. It's going to be a small group of 6 people. It's going to be in February, beginning of the month, meaning that you have long nights for the auroras, an amazing light during the short day, where sunrise is almost back to back with sunset. So it's going to be amazing. All the information are in the link in the description below. And if you have any questions, then feel free to reach out to me either in the comment section below here or directly on my website, and I'm going to answer to you directly after receiving your message. As you can see here, I chose a nice composition with this water just flowing from the river, and it just goes above a rock, which means that it creates kind of a very nice effect of a small waterfall. But because I am using now my camera in portrait orientation in my wide angle lens, then it kind of stretches both ends of the image, and this small waterfall here looks actually fairly big. And that's really interesting because you can't see it here, but you can see the peak which is on the back, the mountain on the background, and all of these can kind of compensate each other. We have the greatness of the mountain on the background, and on the foreground we've got the beautiful waterfall, which is kind of taking enough space so that the image remains balanced. And that's really cool. That's definitely a kind of composition you should be looking for. And this one, that's the only one I found in the area like this, which is accessible, because there are like some others that are like on the other side, but well, the water flow you can see is fairly powerful, so I'm not gonna take the risk of of crossing it and falling in the water. But there is sufficient things to play around, so it's definitely amazing. It's really amazing. I'm so happy. It seems that the conditions are improving. There are a few clouds in the sky, and it's sunset time now here in Norway. It's quite late. It's like 9:15, and I guess it's gonna be just wonderful. But I wasn't really planning on this. The weather was kind of overcast the whole day, and as I said earlier, you can't really predict what's happening here. And now the sky is clearing up. There are a few beautiful clouds there. Here it's a little less highlighted, but I'm feeling it's gonna be nice. So let's keep fingers crossed, and I'm hoping for the best. In the meantime, I'm like now shooting this flow here, and I'm still shooting in portrait orientation because I want to really get the whole mountains and the water on the foreground. And what I try to do, and I'm not really sure what the result will be, I try to do a panorama so that I can get really very wide view of the waterfall and the river and the mountain. And I'm truly hoping for the best once again, because I think these are the kind of pictures you never know how it will come out. But well, I'm fairly confident that it's going to give something interesting. So let's hope for it. In terms of shutter speed, it's also important to get the right shutter speed when doing this type of photography. And I mean, I tend to go between a third of a second and a tenth of a second, which I think is pretty much what you should target. Then you have to try, because depending on the water flow, you might have like different need in terms of shutter speed. Like in this case, there is a lot of water flow, but since I placed my camera in places where the flow is a little less strong, then I can allow myself to go a little slower and to get without getting this really washy water. I still get some flow in the water, which is extremely interesting, and this is really what you should target, because getting this really washy water will really mess up your photograph and we kind of lose interest. It looks interesting for people who don't really know anything about photography, but if you want to share your picture with people who know a little more about it, then in my opinion it doesn't really look very professional. And the best you want is, of course, to be as professional as you want, or at least as good as you can. And that's what we're trying here, and that's what I want you to try the next time you try this type of photography. Because, well, that's what it's all about, getting the best photograph and the most amazing ones. And I'm a happy man in a happy place. So I'm gonna continue a little bit, and let's hope for the best for the next competitions. Another really interesting thing that can be done when you're shooting like this, if you don't have a lot of opportunities for wide angles, and if things are really always looking kind of the same, then go for something like which is much more intimate, much more minimalist. And now that's what I'm doing. I'm shooting like some scenes where like they are like very nice flows, and basically I am using my XF 18 to 55 millimeters at my mid focal range, which is the equivalent of 24-70 on full frame. And this is really amazing, because then you get to really target some very small thing, very fine details, and with the beauty of the long exposure, you really get something really flowing, very smooth, very nice to look at. And that's really amazing. So that's something I can definitely recommend you to do. In the end, what's the most important thing in this case? And that's the case in many aspects of photography, whether it's landscape, whether it's portrait or anything. But in this particular case, this is extremely important. This is the power of observation. Like, the more you will observe the water, the more you will observe how the patterns are going, the water flow and so on, the more you will understand where to place yourself, what to do, how to take the photograph, how to compose your photograph. And don't worry, this might not be really great at the beginning, but the more you practice it, the more you get into it, and the more you will not even have to think so much about it when you come on site. Like now, I had some few shots, it just came very naturally to me, and that's really amazing. The moment you want to start doing something a little more complex, a little more different than what you usually do, then it takes more time, and that's totally normal. And there will be failures, and that's okay, because failures are what makes you grow and what helps you not make the same mistake again. So observe a lot, make mistakes, and take amazing shots.